welcome to your progressed chart report. This is Pistila, and I hope you gain the utmost of quality from this report. Definitely looking forward to breaking this down, knowing you're going through a Saturn return and you're a Soul Reaper like us, gang. All right, like having a Saturn return when you have the moon on your Saturn is not like anyone else having a Saturn return. Like we really feel that. And congratulations once again. That's super gangster, like literally. Anyway, yeah, we'll see. It's right next to your moon, and you're also coming into like a return through here too, which is cool. Which is cool. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Um, I think what's really cool about this is that it marks your ninth, right? It's in the eighth and 12th, but your rising is in the first year, so we will blend these. That being said, we always like to look at the lunar cycle, all right? Every year from when you're born, your progress chart moves a day. So now it's July 28th, where you were born June 28th, of course, obviously. You are becoming 30, 28, 29, 30, okay? The moon, so whereas the sun moves a degree every year, the moon is going to move a degree every month. And knowing the cycle the moon is in gives us so much insight into what we're doing. So we always like to look at the full moon because the full moon is the success you've gained and will be gaining as a Cancer progressed sun. When I had my progressed moon in Cap, that was 2017, and I, was able to turn this part-time job into a full-time job. So the harvest of the full moon are the rewards you come into before the completion. I'm saying this because you've already done this. You've already had your full moon and you're in the midst of harvesting this. Me personally, I just completed that 7-year cycle. You are getting ready to finish this in another year and a half. So let's go back in time. Let's actually see when you began this full moon and where, because it looks like you did shift in between signs. And I was going to say this happened right at the beginning of Leo, but that doesn't look like that's the case, because when you were born before the new moon in Cancer, which looks like you had at the middle of Cancer. So this looks like the full moon after you were born, where you had the third quarter square in Aries, then you had the new moon in Cancer, then you had the quarter square in Libra. So it looks like this right here. Let's go back to 2018. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. So since you were born, 6 plus 29, that's like 23 years. That's like 23 years. Damn. Okay. So, with that being said, you had this full moon at peak degrees. That's gangster, by the way. I'm not even going for it. That's gangster. 29 degrees, 29 degrees. That's so rare. All right, so you had this peak full moon. That means ever since you were born, you had this cycle, boom. So this is the completion of the cycle you began since birth. All right, of course, you're clearing and harvesting. You're getting ready to harvest the Cancer power. What does this mean? You have a full understanding of the control of emotions and integrity that represent your sincere awareness. All right, so as you progress into Leo, and the moon progresses in Aquarius, this is you becoming the main character. Leo becoming Leo rising, you're becoming the lead role. You were originally the high priestess, this sincere, this embodiment of sincerity, and now you've become queen. You're hair flipping now. Emphasis on the hair flip. Okay, so 4 years later now, in 2024, and really 6 years later, we're getting ready to come into the quarter square from the full moon. Okay. And the reason why that's important is now your sun is 5 degrees Leo, right? Your rising is trailing in Leo. So you've converted the water to fire. You're hair flipping people now. Okay, you're telling people to kiss the ring because you fire now. Like it's not a game right now. And the reason why this is cool is because when the moon was 5 degrees Aries, you kicked in the Sagittarius signature. What do we call this? The glow up arc. You are quite literally glowing, all right, fire up as it increases in degree. I had this, but as a progressed Cancer sun, because it was still ninth house until the moon hit the 10th house angle, and that's where I completed. But for you, you're going to glow up, and then you're going to ground and complete the Capricorn signature where you're going to get rich, my friend. Oof. So this is very key because it's going through your MC. You're quite literally glowing up. You're taking action as you're harvesting the rewards. This is how good it's going to be from 2018 to about like another couple years, which I'll show you. All right. So it's very important to keep that in mind. What do we know about this moon? The eclipse is here. So you're feeling how in April and October, this is also shifting the direction you feel you should really honor this new level of royalty, right? We even see your rising has reached your Venus. So this progressed maturity of your personality is embodying your heart with which you were born with. Your heart, which is progressed to Virgo. So the boldness and the courage you were born with is now mastering the maturity of how it is you express yourself. It's adding more perfection, consistency, all right, to the quality of this, right? It's becoming more bougie. And what's really cool here is that with the moon in Aries, once again, now you started this when it was 5 degrees. That was 11 months ago. And we're going to carry this through until we reach like 6, 7 Taurus. So you're still within the thick of this. You still have at least like 14 months. That's 2 years. That's a year and 2 months. Sorry. You still have a year and 2 months before you finish out of Aries. All right. That's going to allow for Saturn to catch up a little bit. But as this increases in potency, you're going to be feeling more raw around how bold you're manifesting your identity. All right. Remember, the significance of Cancer is the final point of individuation from the identity in Aries, value in Taurus, thoughts in Gemini, and your feelings in Cancer. This is the first time you're on stage, right? The first 4 individuals or the first 4 social starts with Leo. You're on stage putting it all together, embodying this queen, right? The lead role, the solar queen. You're the queen of awesome right now. And that's why I noticed with Cancers who progress into Leo, you guys become the main character. You get stage time. Before you were a makeup artist, getting good with the characters. Now you're on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have so much plot power. Your life is like a movie. I make sense of this in the sense like my youngest sister was born in 94. All right. My other sister's a Scorpio. I'm the Gemini. My mom's a Gemini. Like, she's the main character of our family. Just knowing this. And when you look at how everything is, like, she's clearly the main character. You're the main character of your fam too, my friend. All right. Now, if you have any Leo relatives, they're main characters too. Or like Libras and whatnot. But like, that's kind of how to tell these things. So just something to keep in mind, because of course, we know that the moon throughout the next year and a couple months is going to be having you glow up. All right, that's the most important thing to see. I experienced it. You're going to come into more traction. You're going to come into more power. You're understanding the identity of this loyal, royal quality you're coming into. So let's go a bit now into the future, because once we step into 2026, 2063. Once we step into 2026, as you can see, the moon, right? 10, sun, 7. So September, October, September, August, July, June. June of 2026. June of 2026 is where you will have finally completed the harvest that began 2018. Okay. You can see how 2018 and 2026 is about 7 years, right? So, or, 7, 8 years. 2025 will be 7 years. But like, basically, this point right here is where you will begin the 7-year completion to lead back to the new moon in Leo. This is what's going to complete the value of this harvest on the MC, mind you, which is going to be very success driven. So until that point, This is you still ascending the harvest. You're reaching the climax. You're taking action. You're understanding the individual action you're taking to bring this success you're going to manifest and come into, so you can step into this new Leo cycle, which are the golden years. Like, I'm progressed 22 degrees Cancer. I still got to catch up with y'all. And I can't wait to progress in Leo. It's going to be lit. All right. With that being said, your Mars has left Taurus, is now gaining enlightenment in Gemini to add, now that you have mastered the strength and staying power and stability, now it's enabling more enlightenment, more quickness of thought to act on. Mercury was retrograde. Well, throughout your life, it's gone direct, and it's now, of course, going past the shadow through Cancer to gain greater sincerity, hear more vocal tonality, but while your spirit is in Leo on stage. Venus, as we talked about, has gone over Chiron. It's in Virgo, adding a lot more maturity of heart and focus. And it is opposite Saturn, so that's just going to test your soul karma and status as a divine soul reaper and divine slayer, because, you know, soul reaper gang, we got it like that. And then we also have to take into account, we do have these outer planets, so these are really just going to be significant relative to how they're aspecting the moon. Case in point, the moon will square this facet here and your Mercury, so it's just updating how much more psychic your brain processes information and how much more supernaturally you apply this psychic processing to other people. How you feel about yourself as a result. But that's really going to be a major facet of this. The sun has gone out the 12th. You're now progressing into the embodiment of your consciousness and how you are more at home expressing yourself on stage. Like, you're no longer the makeup artist who was helping other people look beautiful. Now you have prominent roles, right? You're coming into more boldness and authority as a result too. So now that the moon is in between both MCs, you're adjusting the quality of your legacy. And oh my gosh, like how much more unconventionally successful you're going to be, because Uranus is transiting this progressed 10th house, and it's actually on your Mars, which is trining Uranus here, and it's going to innovate moving forward how automatic or how effortless you can move forward with people, how you don't even have to do much to accomplish more because you already did the work. All right. So that's just something to keep in mind. Once again, we wanted to look at the lunar cycle. We know that over the next 14 months, you're going to be finishing Aries. And then after 14 months, give or take 7 months from then, which will make it in total 21 months. So basically a little under 2 years, as we've calculated, by 2026. So yeah, this is your glow up. Okay. Your glow up started like a year ago, but this is going to have you come into the climax. This is the most fun part of this, where in Aries, you want to focus more on your raw individuality and how those individual feelings and actions add to your awesomeness, add to the swag, add to this quality. The purpose of the progressed Leo is to really challenge yourself to be more courageous and express yourself. So this is definitely going to be very powerful. And of course, since we have the eclipse here, once the North Node goes into Saturn, this is going to make this a Saturn return to remember, because you're still in the midst of your Saturn return. And this is going to really help you unlock the supernatural, magical quality of your own soul in your assistance towards the dead and the afterlife and the ability to manipulate reality through your beliefs. It's a lot, my friend. I hope you enjoyed this report. Definitely looking forward to your feedback. Yeah, and until next time, peace.